World Metrology Day is upon us, and this year's theme is Measurement for Health. And joining me is Eric Felkel, Product Manager for the Optical Profiler at Zygo Corporation, and he's going to be discussing why this theme is so timely and relevant to our world on the heels of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Zygo Corporation is a global leader in the design and manufacture of advanced optical metrology systems, and their mission is to enable customer success from military and aerospace to medical and automotive by delivering innovative technology solutions. So thank you for sharing your expertise with us today, Eric.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so let's just start off very simple. What is metrology and how does it affect our everyday lives?
So metrology is really just the science of measurement. And in our daily lives, basically, if you can't measure it, you can't make it. So doesn't matter what the industry is, what the product is, you need to be able to measure it in order to make it. It could be something as complicated as maybe a electronic circuit, or could be the finish on a machined part. Or it could be, say, the pieces of a continuous glucose monitor or a contact lens. So lots and lots of different types of devices, components. We have a saying, going from silicon chips to potato chips and everything in between. So really, that's the thing. The science of measurement, that's what metrology is. And it's important to all of us because really you need to be able to measure absolutely everything in order to make them.
Absolutely. It really does touch every area of our lives. So like I mentioned, World Metrology Day 2021, it is upon us. And this year's theme is Measurement for Health. So can you explain kind of what World Metrology Day is and why this year's theme is so important?
Yeah, so World Metrology Day is really a way to recognize how important metrology is to everything we do. So like I said, can't measure it, can't make it. That's the importance of metrology. But when you get into, say, getting into the metrology of health, anything that has to do with, a human life is absolutely critical to make sure that you do it right. So, I mentioned before measuring the finish of, say, a machine part. There are machine parts that go into the human body, things like implants, replacement joints, things like that, intraocular lenses. These are all things that are machined, manufactured, but end up going inside your body. And in terms of, making you a healthy, more productive human being, you want to make sure to do all of those things absolutely right.
Well, let's talk about it from the business perspective, because some businesses think of metrology as a necessary evil, but it should really underpin every aspect of the manufacturing process to ensure quality and also lower costs, which everybody wants. So this is also especially important when it comes to healthcare. So can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, thinking about it, like you said, it's starting, or people viewing it as a necessary evil. If you take that perspective, maybe you're thinking about doing a measurement after the fact, after you have a problem. You don't want to do that. So if you're waiting until you have a problem, first off, it's very expensive for you. You're making, not enough product or lower quality product, having manufacturing challenges, things like that. If you think of metrology from the beginning and you make it a part of the process the whole time, then you can design the entire process around verifying that you're making what you intended to make. So just in the context of good business practice, designing metrology in from the outset is really key. In the context of healthcare and human being related products, in order to get those devices, say, certified by various bodies around the world, the procedures for manufacturing actually have to be very, very well documented. And metrology is a part of that step. Adding the metrology in later very often isn't an option. Once you've settled on your process, that's your process. So if you don't design the metrology in up front, you're really hamstringing your process. And so, thinking about it from up front in terms of, keeping your customers and your patients safe and well taken care of, as well as making sure their business is going to be safe and well taken care of. That's really why you want to consider metrology up front as you're developing these processes.
Yes, safety, lower cost, efficiency, all good things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are some of those metrology solutions that are important for health-related applications?
So a few of them I touched on a little bit. So one of the really key ones that people care about is things like replacement joints, knee joints, hip joints, spinal implants, even dental implants. All of these things are highly precision machined surfaces. And in many cases, like a knee or a hip or a spinal implant, they move and they rub against other surfaces, which can create wear. So understanding how that roughness of that surface is going to react or interact with the mating surface is really key to making sure that someone's going to have a nice, long-lasting implant in their body. And people really don't want to go through that more than once if they don't have to.
No.
So some other ones, the molds that are used to make contact lenses. So those are very precision optical surfaces. And those actually need to be inspected, every single one of them, before they start manufacturing those lenses in mass production. And that's something that Zygo Systems have done for quite some time. Other applications, continuous glucose monitoring, for example, the devices that do that and help diabetics live easier and more productive lives by basically taking the requirement to do finger sticks out of their daily life. As you go through, you can basically monitor how much blood sugar you have and adjust insulin accordingly. We actually have helped to make a lot of the electronics and sensing components that are in some of those devices, and even pacemakers. There's a lot of microstructures and micro wires, things like that need to be monitored and inspected as those are manufactured. So that's just a small swath of the types of application that are related to healthcare components and devices and services that everyone is exposed to pretty much every day.
Well, I can understand now why there is a World Metrology Day, because it truly is very far-reaching and kind of encompasses every area of life, that you could think of. So that's really interesting. Well, Eric, thank you so much. Eric Felkel with Zygo, a global leader in the design and manufacture of advanced optical metrology systems. Thank you so much for sharing your insight and also sharing with us about World Metrology Day. We really appreciate it.
Oh, this was great. Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.